Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome, friends, near and far, seen and unseen. We meet again and continue to meet as we move forward. So we've come kind of halfway through the year. Tomorrow is the 15th of June. Obviously, not the solar halfway, but the in terms of our months from January to the 15th of June, kind of halfway through, and you've seen what 2020 has brought you. The next phase of energy that one would expect would be really the ramping up of what we're already experiencing. And you can see that life is going to be difficult and is getting difficult in many ways. There is so much confusion. What is happening? What isn't happening? Is the coronavirus here? Isn't it here? Can we all meet together? How come people can all protest together, yet we can't meet as families? There is just so much disinformation, and that we have to exercise some critical thinking, and we have to also exercise some judgment as what is going on. And this is really just to maintain this level of confusion, level of insecurity. People are now, again, as the impact of the initial decisions is starting to become apparent, people are losing jobs, people have lost jobs. And there are changes in society that are taking place that are very, very fundamental. So, how do we, one, understand our place in the happening? So, the question I would ask is how many of people listening here do you think you're in control? How much of how much control do you have? Can you go and see a friend 100 miles away? Can you go and go to the job that you had? Can you go to your normality, your way of life, your comfort? Can you go back to that, or has it changed? And you'll find that it has changed. So this change is significant as the impact of it begins to become more apparent. So we go through this second stage of a grief cycle when all the information towards the end of this month, early June, July, August, as more and more of this energy becomes brighter, and as it, more light, more dirt, as more information becomes more visible, there will be a level of um, denial. There'll be a level of, is this really true? We will have to ask ourselves questions. Is this really happening? Because many of us haven't quite grasped the magnitude of the change that we are now going through. And the change that this is just the early days. And it is, as you can see, it has just ramped up, and it isn't local, it's global. The energy is global. The change, Black Lives Matter, the protest against brutality, the protest against any kind of oppression, tyranny, all of this stuff is global. So it's not local anymore. And this global energy is now moving to another phase, or it's starting to move into another phase. I think likely to see it towards July, August. But there's another phase, a phase that where we begin to discover that maybe some of the truths, the information that was shared with us, some of the information that we was kept from just regular people regarding the scam and the pandemic, because there's a bit of a mixture between the two. I'm not saying there's not a virus, but what I'm saying is it is certainly not as bad as it's been made out to, and and there are other uh, issues with that particular um, narrative. So we won't go into that, but what we will say is you can see around you, that there are many who have started to to become more sovereign. So you had a couple of raves going on over this weekend with thousands of young people getting together and having a rave. And there is now Communities are being divided. There are those who are buying the narrative and those who are not. Those who are glued to their TV will buy the narrative. Those that want their life to go back to normal will buy the narrative. Those who realize that there is no going back anymore and realize that this is now not a time to participate in the violence and the anger, definitely make yourself known, make yourself heard in whichever possible way. Know where you stand. Know where you stand. Do we celebrate? You've got now yet another division. Those who want to take the statues down, those who want to keep them. Again, you notice it's divide, 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 divide. The whole process is all about division. The whole process is just a continuous process of division to keep dividing further and further, further. And as long as you're divided, you are caught up in that little matrix. You're caught up in the confusion. So, time to step back, which is what we've been doing throughout these series of talks, that we've been showing individuals experiential manners, experiential ways to pop out of that fear cycle. The fear cycle is not really going to be healthy, as the fear cycle has become now the anger, and now the anger is going to be expressed in two ways. It's grief, really. So, you're going to have sadness at one side and anger on the other side, especially as we discover that so much of life has just been simply disregarded. You have simply been ignored. Your life does not matter. The way you live doesn't matter. What matters is those who control, those who hold the power. And that will become another wave of anger. Now, who are these people? Who are them? Who are they that can take such a impact on your everyday life? Who are they? Ask yourself the question, who are they? And two, why are you believing everything that you're told? How much critical thinking are you doing? How much research are you doing? So, time of change. As I keep telling you, time of transformation. Now, transformation doesn't mean that we'll let the world transform and we'll kind of remain the same. No, we have to transform with it. We are in this 3D reality, which means that intention has to be processed towards an action. You want to flourish in life? Go and buy yourself some flowers, put them in your house, and tell yourself that this represents you blooming and do something about it. So now, the time we are in, we can either move towards the negative, be drawn up in, oh my goodness me, what is happening? Let it take care of itself. It's okay. So I want to bring you now to another question. The first question is, what do you think is the point of your life? What do you think it is? What do you think you need to achieve in this life that you think is worth achieving? Just, it's our own subjective question. The second question is, what do you see yourself as? If you see yourself as a soul, what do you mean? If you see yourself as nothing but just a human being, what do you mean? The question is, what are you doing here? And what are you? Now, what are you? Now, the way to come to what are you is to recognize what you're not. And what you are not is anything that you can be aware of. So you can be aware of your thoughts, you can be aware of your sensations, you can be aware of existence around you. Anything that you can be aware of means it's not your essential self. But at the same time, all that you can see, all that you are part of, that you're embedded in, your consciousness is embedded in, is in a constant process of change. It's in a constant process of change. So notice around you that if you have any trees, flowers, anything, how over winter they've come into flower, now they're maturing, how it's moving. Everything is moving. Put your hand on your heart, on your chest, and you will hear your heartbeat. It's working by itself. It's important to recognize this, that everything that you can see around you, everything that you can perceive, all that you can know is in a constant state of change, and one day it begins and one day it finishes, just like you and I. One day we begin, one day we finish. So, in between this journey from here to here, you are on this aeroplane or you are on this boat. And what do? You make a nice house, you get some money, you put everything together, but just to get to this point. So the question I'm asking is, what's the point of your life? What is the point of your life? So we come to this realization that nothing is permanent. There is nothing that I can hold on to. There's nothing I can hold on to objectively, which gives me a sense of permanency. There's nothing. So what do you hold on to? And Guru Nanak asks this beautiful question, and he says, when the whole existence is transient, what can I befriend? What can I call my friend? This violence that we are seeing around us, the anger and all this, is just a phase. It's a phase of energy. It'll come and it'll calm down. Like everything else, it comes up, it goes in, it comes up, it goes down. Of course, this is a moment of change, so a moment of transformation. So this change has much bigger implications. But all energy, everything follows that pattern. Start, middle, end, start, middle, end, start. Recognizing this is of profound understanding, but also profound importance to do with your health. Once you realize that everything is in a state of change and there is nothing that is permanent, including the riots, including the protests, including Black Lives Matter, including all that goes with that, nothing is permanent. Comes and goes, comes and goes. This is the nature of existence. Existence has to operate in duality. That's the only way you will know that you are here, that things are in duality. How you have to have violence in order to have peace. This is balance. It's just the way things have to be balanced. And as we move away from the destructive, egocentric space, more to the awareness space, yes, there are challenges that we all have to go through, but there is also a collectiveness that comes out of this, a collectiveness of shared grief, a collectiveness of shared joy, a collectiveness of shared growth, and a growth towards what you really are. You don't need to make anything up. It's just stepping back from what you thought you were. Because the truth of the matter is, we don't know much about ourselves. We have been wrongly educated. We've been miseducated. We've been told, and even now you can find text saying that life was an accident, that life was an accident. Fine, let's conclude life maybe it was. But the point is, we have to look at what's around us and we have to look at the mechanism and we have to recognize for what it is. Everything seems to have a purpose, whatever that purpose may be. And today, maybe you can't see it, but over time, we get to see it. Everything. Why do particular flowers have particular colors? Because they attract a particular kind of insect that can only see in that. And we can give it a word called evolution. We can give it a word of intellectual design, however we want to describe it. The point is that everything is in control of itself. It is only our mind that is not in control of itself. It is only our mind that is constantly looking for progress. And in looking for this progress, it has diseased everything it's touched. It has used all that was beautiful in order to oppress the other. So now the time has come for truth to be revealed. So what we see with the statues is the truth behind them. That doesn't mean it's good or bad. It's just where these people came from. This is what they're about. And these celebrations represent that. So it is better to learn, of course, history is very important, but it is better to learn the history from both sides, not just from the side of his story, male, white, black, dominated predominantly Christian worldview, that kind of history. It is always their narrative. It needs to be challenged. And for those people who have gone through the atrocities, and many of us have, I include myself in, who have gone through they know the inhumanity that's out there. And now the time is here for us to heal some of the heartlessness. In order to heal that, it has to be exposed first in ourselves and in others. And this is where we are now. So we are moving towards the second phase. And the second phase of this energy is going to ramp things up, just like the protest ramped things up from the pandemic or the scamdemic to the protests. And now from the protest to these riots, because it's no longer protest, but actually violence, it's become riots. The energy has gone a bit further. And then soon, as we have more information, more understanding, this will just move on to another phase. So it's important for us not to get engaged in this volatile space, but you will feel it as I will feel it. So it's important for us to cultivate some level of holding our space. And by holding your space, we move on. We move away from faith and we move towards trust. And there is a big difference between faith and trust. Faith is someone else's story that you believe. Trust is that you know. And the more we become aware of our of that space of stillness and silence, the silence, whatever you want to call it, the more you settle into that, the more frequently you do that, the more you raise your vibrations. The more you raise your vibrations, that is the antidote to the chaos around you. That's the antidote. The antidote is not to change the world, but to change yourself, transform yourself. Now we will have an understanding of what do I hold on to when everything is changing? What do you think you will hold on to when you're about to die? What will you hold on to? Your house, your bank balance, your partner, your children? Where will your mind go? So it's important now to realize actually this is real. Now life is about to get real. Why? Because the sense of ego has now been imprisoned, and every single day with a whole new law, with a whole new so-called guidelines that are meant to hold you in this little space, this mental space. Step out, step out, step out while you have time. Otherwise, things are going to get a little bit more chaotic. And you know what? In confusions, we can make the wrong choice. And it's okay if we make the wrong choice, such is life. But just bear yourself for another month. Just notice what goes around you, and it will become apparent. And once it becomes apparent, then we can focus in a different way on how we can develop ourselves within that chaos, how we can navigate ourselves. What do we hold on to? What do we hold on to? So it's not theoretical, it's practical. It's practical because every time we sit together, every time we go into that silent space, we recognize the light that we are. And that light that you are is your awareness, your consciousness, non content, no content in it, conscious, just conscious knowing and being silence and stillness. Profoundly what you are. And the more you go there, the more you will know that there is nothing that can touch you as long as you are rooted in your source. Nothing. And even if anything comes your way, all that is happening because it is necessary. In fact, existence always operates as it is necessary. So whether we like it or not, it was necessary. How would we know? How would we know the value of peace if the riots weren't taking place? How would you know the value of justice if you didn't see that man being executed by the cop? How will you know what it means to be critical in your thinking? I mean, thinking for yourself and not buying whatever is being shoved down your throat is by looking at those who are already in that ignorance. Our disease are twofold: ignorance and we will expand on this over the next few weeks, and our ego, our home. Racism, patriotism, nationalism, all of these are nothing more than just learned behaviors. It's the ego strengthening itself. It strengthens. Guru Nanak says, Home chagla payon, that it is your ego that creates conflict. And it is through this conflict that you die. You die fighting something. You die fighting belief systems. You die fighting, elections. You die fighting because you're in a conflict. You're in the division. Time to step back. Time to step back. Enjoy the show because the show is going to get more entertaining as it is now. Enjoy the show and let us now gather ourselves and share our silent space. So when you're ready, if you like to close your eyes and close your mouth, of course, if you can't breathe in through your nose, we can breathe in through our mouth. And as you breathe in, bring your focus to your body. So let's take a note of the nature of what I am. Okay. So bring your focus to your body. So you can't deny that you have a body. And this body allows you to be aware of it. So your awareness, you have a sense that you have a body. And you can sense your body, so to speak. Now you will notice that this body is breathing. You will notice that this body, as it breathes, also its heart is beating, blood is flowing within it, and every single cell in this body is doing something. It is doing something. And even the DNA within your body are instructions that are doing something. In other words, everything is in a state of change. And it's happening by itself. And just like with your body, everything around you, every plant, every insect, the earth that you're on, the moon that's around, just hanging around in space, the galaxy, the planets, the solar system, every single microbe, every virus, everything is in a constant state of change. And everything is related. The air that you breathe in is enriched with oxygen by the trees. The air that you breathe out enriches the tree. Everything is connected. Everything is interdependent. So your body is a system. It's a system that is operating by itself. Doesn't need you. You can do it more harm or you can do it good, but it doesn't need you. It's operating as a system and has been from the moment it was conceived. As you take a breath in, bring your focus to the chair or the floor that you're sitting on. Notice the sensations within your body, where your body makes contact with the chair or the floor. Bring that focus upwards towards the hips. And now move your awareness down your thighs, from your knees to your ankles, and then finally to your feet. Take your focus back to the chair or the floor. Notice the sensations again where the body makes contact. And then bring your focus upwards so you come to the lower back. Notice the sensations there. Next breath in, take it up to the middle back. Next breath in, take it to the shoulder blades. From your shoulders, come down to your elbows. From your elbows to your wrists, palms of your hands, and the fingers on your hands. Move your focus to the back of the neck. Pull your chin in so your neck stretches. Move your focus to your eyes. Notice the darkness. Allow your eyes to relax a little bit, soften a bit. Move your focus to your mouth. Notice your tongue. Allow it to soften. Notice the roof of your mouth, inside your mouth. Allow your jaw to relax and your face to relax. As you take a breath in, once again bring your focus to your body and see what you can sense. Is there a dominant sensation anywhere? Locate it, just locate it. Now bring your focus to your chest. Notice that this body can feel too. So what do you feel? How do you feel? Does it feel settled or unsettled? Does it feel comfortable or uncomfortable? This moment, that's all we're looking at. Is this moment enough or something missing? And if there's something missing, what is it? Now bring your focus back to the body as you breathe out. Now this body that you have is embedded in this moment, wherever you are, and in this moment of now. Now the body can't leave this. It's part of this. So it's part of a bigger system, a system that holds the body in place. And as a result of this body, you are connected to what you're sitting on. You are connected to the air that you breathe. In fact, you're connected to everything that exists in the moment of now. Every ocean, every planet, every world, every galaxy, every single hair on every single human being right now, and everything else. That you share this moment with all of that. And as a result of being in this body now, which started many years ago as just a cell, you can see that this body connects you with all that ever was and all that ever will be. So you are embedded in the now, eternally in the now. The body is embedded in the now. Now, as you breathe out, begin to listen to the sounds around you. Notice that while you have the body, you also have awareness. When you begin to listen, you're exercising your awareness. So just allow the sounds to come to you. acting like a receiver. And we're going to follow, notice how your awareness follows this bell. And this bell is a representation of the eternal now. And the eternal now takes us into the silence. Follow the bell as best as you can. Listening. Notice how you listen. It's an internal process. So you have awareness. And with this awareness, you also have intention. So gently bring your focus just beneath your nose. Your intention is to hold your focus there and allow the breath to breathe by itself. And simply watch the breath. Allow the breath to breathe by itself. Stay with your breath. When you're ready, you draw a slow, deep breath in and relax. Holding your focus just beneath your nose. In a moment, we're going to start using the sound to go deeper within us. And we're going to use this sound as our anchor. So we use sound in three ways to begin with. As we draw deep breath in, we say the sound as we breathe out, so hum. And we allow the sound to follow our breath. So when you're ready, very gently draw a slow deep breath in. We do this three times. Once again, deep breath in. So bring your focus just beneath your nose. We raise our vibration. We start from the outer body and we move in. Next, we're going to say Soham, but this time we're just going to whisper it to ourselves. So once again, same process, deep breath in. So follow the sound of the breath and the sound as far as you can. Once again, so Once again, bring your focus back to your breath. And once again, just notice what's going on in the body, if anything. Now, as you bring your focus to your breath, notice if your breath is warm or if it's cold. And now notice if the breath has a sound. And all you want to do is just listen to that sound. Stay with the sound. And on your next breath out, simply open your awareness and begin to listen to the sounds around you too. So you can hear the sound of your breath as best as you can. But you're also open to the awareness of any other sound that may be around you. I'm going to use the sound of the bell to move into a silent space, listening, exercising our awareness to listen. Once again, just follow the sound of the bell as far as you can. And once again, as far as you can. From this quiet space, gently bring your focus just beneath your nose. And as your breath comes in, mentally saying to yourself, so, and as the breath goes out, hum. Listening to what you're saying to yourself. Listening as the breath comes in to the soul, listening as the breath goes out to the hum. And now, as best as you can, with every breath out, see if you can lower the volume of what you're repeating mentally to yourself. Saying it, lowering the volume, listening to it. Listening, listening deep within us. Allow this bell to take you deeper. listening. Silence, stay with the silence. Notice the nature of your experience. Acknowledge what it is. It is a presence, for that's what you are. You're a presence. And this presence is no different to the presence of existence. It is a presence in which of stillness and silence exist. It is your essential nature. Notice that. Behind the thoughts, behind the sensations, one thing you cannot take any reduction, cannot be reduced any further, is your awareness. And it's eternal. This awareness is the charioteer, and the body is the chariot. The mind is the driver. The senses are the horses. When you're ready, gently bring your focus back to your breath. And on your next breath out, just expand your awareness, becoming aware of your body. As best as you can. Notice the body is still where it was. You still have sensations where you touch the ground or the chair. You can sense your legs all the way down to your feet. Your back is straight and upright. Your shoulders, arms, and hands are comfortable. Your eyes are still closed. Your mouth is still closed. Your face is still relaxed. And your breath is flowing by itself. Bringing your focus just beneath your nose. And notice as the breath in, it seems like the body expands. And as the body relaxes, the breath goes out. Breathing in, you can sense your body. Breathing out, you can sense your body. In a moment, you will hear another bell. Use this bell to draw a few deep breaths in, and in your own good time, opening your eyes and bringing some of that peace back with you. Thank you very much for joining me and making this our space of of silence and stillness. And as insignificant as it may seem, sometimes it only takes one match to burn the forest down. And each one of you are that match. So may your light grow bright. Know that we are moving into a new phase of energetic change. And in this change, anger will be present, as will be sadness, as will be grief, because life is changing. So don't get too attached. Such things happen. Remember, you are beyond all of that, and you touch that eternity every time you sit with yourself. So take time out to sit with yourself. So, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be peaceful, may you always be safe. Akala.